Hello, and welcome to this exclusive conversation on our Leaders Talk segment. Today, we are shining a spotlight on Akshaya Patra, a foundation that has redefined the role of school meal programs in India. As the world's largest NGO-run midday meal program, Akshaya Patra serves 2.25 million children daily, ensuring that hunger is never a barrier to education. Through its state of the art kitchens, technology driven efficiency, and sustainable practices, the foundation has become a global model for large scale school feeding initiatives. Beyond India, Akshay Patra is also fostering international collaborations, such as its recent partnership with Kenya's Food for Education program, further amplifying its impact. And to discuss the organization's scaling strategies, innovations, and future roadmap, we are honored to have with us Mr. Dhananjay Ganjoo, Chief Resource Mobilization and Marketing Officer at Akshay Patra. A very warm welcome to you.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, great description of what we have been doing over the last 24 years. This is our silver jubilee year. So on November 11th, we'll be celebrating 25 years of Akshaya Patra in India, nourishing the nation. So glad to be here today.
How wonderful. And just, for the information of our audience, I'd like to, share a brief profile of yours as well. So, audience, Mr. Ganju brings a wealth of experience in business strategy, global partnerships, and market expansion. And before joining Akshay Patra, he was the managing director at F5 Networks, driving revenue growth across India and the SAARC region. He has also held senior leadership roles at Hewlett Packard, Nortel, Juniper, and Microsoft, playing a key role in technology sales, business development, and strategic collaborations. And he also founded Envoy Labs, a consulting firm focused on startup incubation. His expertise in revenue growth and strategic collaborations is now helping Akshay Patra further its mission. So, without further ado, I'd like to begin the conversation with my first question, which is based on your personal experience, since you've had a distinguished corporate career leading global firms and even founding a consulting company. What inspired your transition to the social sector, and what has been the most fulfilling part of your journey with Akshay Patra?
The Akshaya Patra journey is about a year old, though in my previous roles, both in terms of a personal nature, I have been supporting Akshaya Patra, not just financially, but also otherwise as well. Um, the story is a little personal in the sense that my past is such that very at a very young age, I had told myself that if anything were to make a difference to an individual and the family, is education, and education has been very close to my heart, and has transformed the individual that I am today. And I had told myself that if I ever get an opportunity to give back, it will be via education. And if I look at Akshay Patra, I see education and hunger is two sides of the same coin. You can't really educate a child who is hungry, and unless and until we nourish that child. So that was one of my key reasons of joining Akshay Patra after 3.5 decades in the corporate world, which I enjoyed immensely. In Akshay Patra, it's been a fulfilling 1 year.
Mhm.
I can see my colleagues are extremely passionate about what they're doing, and we can clearly see impact that we are creating. So, which is the wonderful part of working at Akshay Patra.
Wonderful. And as you said that it's going to be 25 years for Akshay Patra, and it's successfully scaled its reach to over 2.25 million children. So, can you share with us the strategies that have enabled this growth, and what are the next steps in expanding the program further?
Yeah, Akshaya Patra is no different from a corporate. It's just that when I look at the annual balance sheet, we don't make a profit because we are not supposed to. So we are a corporate company, but with a very large heart. That's how
Mhm.
I describe Akshay Patra. And its corporate structure is not very different from what other corporates may do when they go to market. We raise funds for our beneficiaries. Other corporates do work for profit. So we have structured Akshay Patra in terms of the CSR law that was passed about 11 years ago. So there is a corporate team that addresses the corporates, and we try to raise funds based on the CSR SDG goals that those corporates may have. We have a mid-market team. We have a very experienced internet marketing team. So there is a team that raises funds through the internet. And there is a creative team internally. There is a PR and media team internally. So Akshaya Patra is very well equipped to go and address the market in a very structured manner.
Ruchika, I had a small question.
Please.
Because you're talking about your team, internet marketing team, and I'm sure you have excellent structures in place. So I just wanted to know what part of your revenues, I won't say revenues, donations come from individuals, because I think a lot of individuals believe in Akshay Patra's cause, and I'm sure it's not just corporates. So how is that
Well,
structured?
absolutely. Very good question. We do have HNIs, ultra HNIs, and individuals that contribute heavily to Akshaya Patra because the cause matters to them.
Absolutely.
Um, I would say about 15% of the revenue, the funds that we raise,
Mm-hmm.
are both small and medium enterprise and individuals per se. And the funds that we raise could be anywhere from 100 rupees to 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 5 lakh rupees from individuals. And every penny matters to us.
Yes. Thank
So
you.
have you experienced any kind of challenges when it comes to actually raising funds or even raising awareness? I know
So
Akshaya Patra is a big organization now. It's well known, but still there might be
I'll tell
some
you.
challenge. Yeah.
So yeah, the challenges are, let me do a comparison because this question comes a lot to Akshay Patra saying, hey, you're very big, you have enough money. So let's say this, if I was a NGO that is building schools and I run out of funds, well, I stop that project. Only the school building and maybe a delay that happens, which is bad, but it happens. I stop the project. If I was a SDG goal of environment and I was, either putting saplings and putting solar panels and making biogas plants, of
Mm.
course that's great work. But if I ran out of funds, I would stop my project for that period of time. At Akshay Patra, the only thing that keeps us awake is when we start feeding a school. Those children are no different from our children. I cannot go back to that school or that child and say, sorry, I've run out of funds and I can't feed you tomorrow. So when we build our kitchens, we build it with revenue expenditure, 5-year revenue expenditure already available with us. And every penny, so 92 rupees to 100 goes towards the cause, and 8% is the admin money. So the only thing that keeps us awake is, will I have revenue, line of sight to revenue, or line of sight to funds that will
Mhm.
keep our kitchens active, and we'll be, putting nourishing food in front of our beneficiaries.
Wonderful. And also the fact that Akshay Patra's large-scale kitchen model is recognized for its efficiency. It's in fact your
Mhm.
USP. So can you share some of the latest innovations that are actually improving the preparation of meals or the distribution, and of course the
Oh yeah,
nutritional.
oh yeah, absolutely. There are several organizations that come to Akshay Patra to help us improve our efficiency. Though largely the kitchen designs are internal in nature. And there are many stories around our kitchens that I can continue to, share with you here on this platform. But we are featured in National Geographic's Mega Kitchens of the World. Our kitchen in Hubballi has a capacity of 250,000 meals a day.
Mhm.
That is the largest kitchen in the world, though it operates only for that period of time, and not the entire 24 hours. We start our operations at about 3 in the morning, and in multiple batches we cook food, and then those food containers are put in vans which are all insulated. The food containers are insulated, the vans are insulated. Now the technology intervention is in many parts. For example,
Mhm.
delivery. You've heard of delivery, the route management
Yes.
company. Yeah, we are
Yes.
deliveries. We are deliveries customer. It's a pro bono effort by Delivery with Akshay Patra. They help optimize our routes from 1700 to 1434. So we saved about 300 routes. That's massive amount of saving in terms of fuel, time, energy,
Mm.
efficiency. There are several other examples. So we serve 2.25 million meals a day. If I
Wow.
were to save one paise per meal, just 1 paise per meal, I can
Mm.
feed 4,000 more children that year. It's the scale of operation. There is automation to a certain extent. We don't believe that we will use AI to a level where we start replacing human beings. That's not our intent. We are automating where we need automation. For example, we use automation anywhere, RPA, to tally our bank account versus what donors have given us in an automated fashion. We
Mhm.
have automated a lot of kitchen operations, whereas the individual doesn't have to look at a piece of paper. They can look at screens, and the screens will tell the cooks in the
Mm.
kitchen what to do next. So
Mm.
we're not replacing those
Mm.
individuals, but we are enhancing their capability and improving their efficiency. There are
Mm.
many such stories in Akshay Patra in the kitchen that keeps our kitchens there. The heart of our operations are our kitchens, 77 of them across 16 states to union territories, that keeps us speaking and providing very nourishing food to our children.
That's wonderful to hear. So, I'm sure it is a challenge to actually measure the deliverables and track them. So, how do
Oh,
you go
no.
about that?
Oh, no, no. We are highly tech savvy. 35 years
Mm-hmm.
I have spent in tech industry. There
Mm.
are many. Our CTO is ex JP Morgan head in terms of IT. So there are several individuals in Akshay Patra that are tech savvy. And of course, we lean on the
Mm.
industry. So just to give
Mm.
you how tech savvy are we? So we have our own data lake where all the last 24 years worth of data is already available. The data lake is Snowflake. Our CRM is the ones that our fundraisers use. Our CRM is Salesforce.com. We use an ERP, which is Microsoft Dynamics. And we can siphon out a lot of intelligent data from the data lake of Snowflake to tell us
Mm.
what are the new trends that we are noticing, where we need to improve ourselves. So we are very tech savvy in terms as a company. And if we didn't lean on those tech tools, we wouldn't be able to scale as much as we have been able to. And on the note of the kitchens, I think 47 out of 77 kitchens are now ISO 22000 certified. And we recently received the Best Food Safety Award. I'll be
Mm.
happy to share that in a separate mail. Also, we were the only NGO that received the Food Safety Award in that commercial setup. So it was a very proud moment to us as well.
Great. So, can you actually share a qualitative outcome, not a quantitative one, where it has significantly changed or transformed the life of a child? And if you could show us some, examples or success stories where children have started going back to school because they're getting food. If there has been an increase in the attendance.
So the PM, the PM Poshan program has been instrumental in
Mm-hmm.
bringing kids back to school.
Right.
The meal is the single largest incentive for government school going children to actually
Absolutely.
come to school. If you
Mm.
take away the meal, you will see attendance drop drastically.
Mm.
And the impact that it has created is phenomenal. We have just recently, on the side, in a couple of states, we have started a breakfast nutrition program as well. In state of
Mm.
Karnataka, where I'm based, the government of Karnataka is massively supportive of our program. This was the state where we started first 24 years ago. There is a program called Shir Bhagya program, which is supported by the government of Karnataka, which is they give us dehydrated milk powder, which we
Mm-hmm.
have in our kitchens across the state of Karnataka. Every
Mm.
morning, a round of our vans go with ragi malt milk, which is very delicious. I've had it myself. And this ragi malt milk is given to the kids in the schools in the morning as a breakfast nutrition. We'll be adding to that as a
Mm.
breakfast nutrition snack as well very shortly. Um,
Wonderful.
and then the midday meal goes at 12 noon. Now, we started 24 years ago. Those tiny tots that we kind of engaged 24 years ago are now young adults. We are now
Mm.
engaging with them to see if we can do scholarships for the ones that are deserving and want to pursue higher studies. So there is a fund that we have allocated towards scholarships of these deserving students. We have also seen massive change. I can give you several examples. The one that comes to
Mm.
mind
Mm.
is this, and I can share the story with you on the side as well in terms of a couple of slides. Um,
Mm.
there's this gentleman who is now a chartered accountant. He works with Deloitte. He passed his CA in the first attempt, and he has gone on video about Akshay Patra, and that video is available on our LinkedIn website, on our other social media handles. You'll be able to see that. Mahesh is his name. There are many such examples. There are two girls, both twins. They work for an IT company, back office of a large multinational IT company in India, here in Bangalore, actually. And there are several other examples of our beneficiaries um, changing their lives and their families' lives, impacting generations together. And Akshay Patra is so happy to see that. We are seeing definite change happen because there is an intervention of a meal in school. Let me also give you the scale of the problem. It is, while we are the largest not-for-profit in the school meal program in the world, we do 2.25 million children as school meal program. So we're the largest in the world. But here are the statistics that are unknown. There are 1.2 million schools in India, right? Akshay Patra provides midday meal to 23,000 plus schools. So if you do quick maths, we address less than 2% of 1.2 million schools, government schools. Even that. So does this country require hundreds of Akshay Patras? Yes. 92% of the meals that are provided in the school are managed by the state governments themselves. The remaining 8% is outsourced to not-for-profits like Akshay Patra. So there are other organizations as well that do midday meal. We happen to be the largest. We started much earlier and have scaled in a phenomenal fashion. But we're just scratching the surface of the problem right now.
Mm, mm. Also, I had a question that since your scale, your reach is so vast across geographies, has there been any challenge, a significant challenge coming from a specific area or a state, and how did you address that, if you could recall?
But yes, the best part is um, the engagement that we do is with state governments. This is a
Mm,
state subject. The PM Poshan program allocates these funds to state governments, and we have MOUs with various state governments.
mm,
Currently, we're doing 16 states to union territories. We'll be adding the third union territory um, on March 17th. We inaugurate our first kitchen in Goa. So that will be the third union territory that we'll inaugurate very, very soon. Successive state governments and union territories have been massively supportive of the program, the Clean Portion program, irrespective of the political party. So this
mhm,
cuts across, any political party. It's close to everybody's heart, and that's the best part of working in this environment. Is you can make an impact and see the impact changing lives. The biggest challenge is we don't own any land, so the land
mm,
has to be provided by the state government. We
mm.
don't we don't get to choose which school we supply the food to.
Okay.
That is also a state subject. Um,
Mm,
and as I said, the third challenge is I need to see line of sight of at least 5 years of revenue expenditure before
mm,
I pick up my hand and say, "Yep, we will take donation to build a kitchen in this
mm,
particular piece of land provided by the
mm,
state government."
mm,
These three, are. But I've seen none of this is insurmountable. They have been fairly supportive. Both our donors, we have, extremely delighted to have the donors and appreciative of the work they have done with us. And of course, the state government with whom we partner so across all of India.
mhm. So, talking about collaborations and engagements with your donors and the corporate partners, can you just share with us the strategy that you have in place? What kind of expectations do you have from your partners, and how they have been amplifying your efforts?
In many ways, we remain grateful to the partnerships that we have. So we have several SDG goals that we support: hunger,
Mm-hmm.
nutrition, education, environment, being the top four. But if our SDGs match with the SDGs, these four SDGs of our corporate donors,
Mm-hmm.
um, 9 out of 10 times they'll engage with us. And there are repeat corporate donors. They have been supporting our cause for several years consecutively. There are new that we add every year. 80% of our donors are renewals. About 20% we add new every year. who now have
Mm,
heard our cause and our work and want to partner with us. I'll give you an example. Amazon, for example, they have come to us and given us knowledge transfer in terms of um, how our last mile digitization should be. We still use a
mm,
lot of paper. They have also engaged with us and told us what to buy from where, when, and how much to store. That knowledge is very valuable. So they not
mm.
only contribute, such corporations, not only contribute with respect to just money, they contribute their knowledge to improve our operations, and we are
Mm.
very appreciative of that.
That's great to hear. And if we talk about sustainability and nutrition, like nowadays, food security or climate action or even food wastage, they are big aspects of climate change.
Yeah.
So how is Akshay Patra integrating sustainability into its programs and also
Phenomenal.
ensuring nutrition at the same time?
Oh, yeah, phenomenal question. Um, by year 2030, 80% of our operations will be carbon neutral. I'll give you several examples. Kandi Kitchen, just outside of Hyderabad, about hours drive from Hyderabad, is a place called Kandi. We have a kitchen,
Mm.
125,000 meals a day is prepared there. 42% of that kitchen is carbon neutral. We have solar panels, we
Wonderful.
have biogas plants,
Oh,
our EV vehicles. Let me tell you the story. We have 2,000 vans.
mhm.
A lot of them, in fact, a large portion of those vans, insulated vans, are fossil fuel vans. Now, if
Okay.
we were to convert 2,000 vans overnight to
Mm.
only EV, we'd save 24 crores per annum on fuel cost and maintenance
That's
cost.
phenomenal. Hmm.
So, being carbon neutral and very conscious of environment it's a natural outcome of our operation itself. So there are goals that we have set for ourselves. As I said, 80% of Akshay Patra will be carbon neutral by 2030. And we are also trying to move away. So all our cooking happens through steam. We don't do flame-based cooking. Flame-based cooking
Okay.
would take forever. If you want
Hmm.
to turn around, a cauldron of rice in 15 minutes, you can't do that on flame. You have to do that with steam. So we use boilers.
Oh, wonderful.
And currently, in a few kitchens, a large footprint of kitchens, we use briquette-based boilers. Briquette is bio waste, which is dried and becomes into a small, pellet that we use in our boilers to, produce fire, and that fire heats up a boiler that produces steam. That
Mm-hmm.
releases um, some amount of pollutants in the atmosphere. We have converted 12, and we are on the way to convert about four more from briquette based to LPG based. And there are donors who who have come forward saying, we will help you convert your briquette based plants to LPG based plants so that you control pollution. So there is phenomenal amount of work that we have done towards addressing or lessening our carbon footprint as we move forward.
Wow.
I
Shweta, I
had
think.
another question. Yes. I mean, all the work that you do, Dhananjay ji, I mean, that Akshay Patra does, I mean, personally, I feel it couldn't get better. I mean, it's optimum, the resource utilization, the
It
scale,
is.
it's amazing. So, what I wanted to know is how could your experiences and expertise help smaller, probably NGOs who are working in the hunger mitigation space? Do you
Mm,
have any programs to help them? Um,
Yeah, we do. In fact, I'll tell you a story, very interesting one. When we received the award in the UN on 4th of April last year in 2024, we served our 4 billionth meal. And I can tell you a very interesting story in our journey of serving billion meals. So the 4th billion meal was celebrated in the UN. Ruchika Kamboj, who is the permanent ambassador of India at the
yes.
UN, was the key speaker. There was Kailash Satyarthi, the Nobel laureate. There was Mr. Murthy, Narayan Murthy, the founder of Infosys. He's a big supporter of Akshay Patra. He was there as well at the UN event in New York. And somebody there asked our chairman, Madhu Pandit Dasa, saying, you have built so much of intellectual property in terms of building large-scale kitchen, and that technology transfer should itself provide a lot of revenue to Akshay Patra. And he said a very profound, he gave a very profound answer. He said, we don't want to profit out of hunger,
mm,
right?
Amazing.
So, with that in mind, Sri Lanka reached out to us. There was a delegation from Sri Lanka. Indonesia reached out to us, a delegation from Indonesia. There was this very interesting story for this young entrepreneur called Vavira, who leads a not for profit in Kenya, in Nairobi. She started with 1,500 children, then read about Akshay Patra, came over with a massive delegation. We signed an MOU. We did a lot of tech transfer, and we helped them in terms of optimizing their operations. Today, Vavira's NGO Food for Education in Kenya serves 450,000 children.
Wow.
Yes, so we have done partnerships, and they are knowledge transfer partnerships across the borders. And of course, it's a transaction that has no monetary value attached to it. It's something that we wanted to do because the cause is much bigger than who we are.
Yes, yes. And has there been any cross-cultural learnings or lessons that you'd like to share with us, especially with the Kenyans, with the for Food for Education program?
There's always learning. At this moment in time, there is more that Vavira has taken from us, but we have seen what they've implemented a very unique thing. I'm not sure if that would be that we'll be able to implement that. So they have given
Mm-hmm.
every kid a small little watch. That watch is it's a blank screen, it's got nothing on it. But every time a kid eats food, the kid taps. And that tap is the attendance because that is the only attendance system that they have. So they have
Yeah.
used and leveraged technology themselves to become efficient and also get feedback. Um, and that watch costs about $1, so it's about 87 rupees. It's
Mm-hmm.
just at the scale that we have, 23,000 schools into about at least an average of 300 kids. That's a lot of money. We first want to ensure that food reaches the child first before we learn from such. But it's an amazing intervention that they have done. And there is always, when we engage with anyone, there's always so much more to learn and improve ourselves. And we'll continue to do that.
It's wonderful to hear. And we have so much to learn from you. So, if we talk about the future roadmap for Akshay Patra, so how do you see yourself? What would be the major priorities in the next 5 years, maybe?
Oh yeah, we have set ourselves a few very significant goals. One is the near-term goal is we do 2.25 million children every day. We want to reach 3 million by the end of this year or by early next year. 3 million
Mm-hmm.
children every day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the journey of a billion meals has become shorter. The first billion took us 12 years cumulatively. Took us 12 years. Second took us five. Third took us four. Then COVID, so it was five more. We can now, so we did 4 billion meals in April. We will be serving our fifth billion meal by the end of this year. So it takes us over 1 year to prepare a billion meals. We want to touch 5 million children in the next 5 years. So 5 million per day in the next 5 years. And of course, the kitchens will have to scale along with this. So there is a
Mm-hmm.
scaling of the kitchens. There are several kitchens under construction as we speak, about 14 of them across the country. And we always have donors who put up their hand for both capital expenditure, that is building kitchens, and revenue expenditure, making sure that there is ration available in those kitchens to prepare those food articles. So the other thing that we are razor focused on is, of course, how do we? One was increasing the number of children. Second is what more can we put on the plate of the child? So there is a lot of research we're doing with companies who are in millet business. So we are exploring millet. Millet has greater nourishing
Nutrition.
capabilities than just wheat and rice. And palates of Indians are very different from state to state, and our
Mm-hmm.
preparation and machinery that we use in different states are actually very different. What we serve to a child in south of India, we don't in north. North is very roti wheat
Mm-hmm.
dominated, where south is very rice dominated. So these children are just like our children. If you don't make tasty food, they won't eat it. Um,
Absolutely.
so putting more on the plate of the child is very important. Strengthening our own systems, strengthening Akshaya Patra is the third most important aspect of what we have planned over the next couple of years.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ganju, for sharing those very insightful information. And it's actually incredible to see how Akshay Patra is not just addressing classroom hunger, but also driving innovation, sustainability, and of course, global collaboration and social feeding programs. It's just wonderful to see how you're working with other countries and your perspective on scaling impact, also engaging the stakeholders and ensuring that every child gets a nutritious meal is both inspiring and crucial for shaping a better future. So thank you so much for your time and for joining us and giving us this opportunity to have this wonderful conversation.
Ruchika,
Thanks.
thank you very much for giving this platform an opportunity to Akshay Patra to share our story on this platform. Delighted to be here. And if there is anything else you need from us, just feel free to reach out.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank you so much. Thanks a
Thank you,
lot.
Doctor. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.